let's go ahead and get started on the pear. If you have Illustrator up, you can go ahead and click on the pear that's in your recent area. If you've still been working, you can go ahead and click open and find it. Or we can go ahead into our thumb drive, find that file, homework, yay, and here it is. I went too far. The pear, your name, and the .ai. So for this one, we're going to have a little bit more practice also as well with the pen tool, but we're going to add layers into that. Let's check our layers out just so we can see how we have it. Layer 1, I'm going to call this reference. You can call it reference photo, reference image, etc. And for the layer 2, I'm going to double click. That's how you change the name there. And I'm going to call it pear shape. How's that? Because we're going to have the pear shape, the stem, and the leaf. So for this one, we're just going to work in sections. The pear, the stem, and the leaf. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to change it so it's just a black outline. I'm not going to worry about color till the very end. I'm not going to worry about values or highlights or midtones or shadows. For this, I'm just going to look for, just getting the shape and working with that. All right, let's set it to the pen tool. Remember, it remembers that last one. So if you couldn't find it, because mine was on the convert, so make sure it's there. All right, I'm just going to Command plus so I can see a little bit bigger. And we're going to remember, start where we finish. So where feels like a good starting point. So I feel like that is click, drag, click, drag. Remember, we'll go back in and we clean it up later. Less is more. And if you hear a sewing machine sound, tick, 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 like that was obviously off, we'll fix that. You are making too many points. All right. And I'm going faster than one should, but I want to not have too long of a video. And also where the point or the handle's direction is, that's where your next line is going to be sort of pulled from. Take your time because you're probably not as comfortable with the pen tool. So take your time and create your shape. Remember, you get that little 0, so we have our anchor. All right, you have cleanup time. So I did not obviously like this. Let's pull that in. I'm going to have to go in and find where my snap twos are. All right, clean it up. I would probably go forth, clean up a little bit more. This is pretty much like the doggo from the last one. I'm going to go to my eyedropper or just hit I, and I'm going to choose a color. So you can see there, I had a little bit of cleanup more to go, but I want to chug forth. I'm going to lock it. I'm going to hide it, and I'm going to make a new layer. And this one, double click, stem. All right, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so we can see it. Let's go ahead and make that stem. I'm going to switch our colors so that little toggle there will toggle whatever was in the fill to the stroke and vice versa. All right, we start where we end. This one shouldn't. Now you can decide if you want to keep going. Some people for this one will add the details into the leaf. If you want to, great, go for it. If not, don't worry about it. I'm just going to get the stem portion. All right. Start where we end. I would clean that part up. I'm going to go I, drop in the brown, just so I can see the two together. Not too shabby. Lock it, hide both. All right, you guessed it. One more layer, leaf. Switch them so that I can trace it. All right, let's go for it. Where we start is where we finish. This one I feel like I've started sort of backwards. I usually feel more comfortable going up and then down, so this is a little bit different for me. I'm just going to hide the layers so I can keep going without interruption. All right, we can tell there is some cleanup. I hit my mic. Let me go back. All right, keep going, keep going. Make our leaf. And like I said, you can keep going on this. As long as you have the flat shapes, that's what I'm lovingly going to refer to as the minimum. You did the minimum basics for this class. If you want to keep going and add some of the shading, I will show how to do that so that you can start practicing that as well whenever we get into the more complex forms later down the term. All right, I'm going to, you guessed it, eyedropper, find that green, go back to our layers, lock it, hide it, new, and then maybe I'm going to call this one leaf details. And this is why we name them, because eventually you're going to start forgetting, you know, oh, what was that one called? I can't remember. And then if someone else opens your file, you're going to be able to adjust it accordingly from there. So maybe for mine, I'm going to add the main vein. And that one's sort of more of a minty-ish green color. So let's go ahead and change that color. And you can keep going. So I'm gonna, you know, maybe add some of these veins. And I'm gonna switch that so that we have the same color. Now you can work with the pen tool as a line. You don't have to close it. So for these, I am going to just line tool them. And I'm going V to deselect. All right, go back to P for pen. And I'm not going to do all of these because this would take way too long. V, so we can deselect. P, so we can pick up the pen tool. I'll just do the same, sort of matching here on this side. And then I'll show you how to add some shading also. Oops, I switched that. B. All right. And how much detail you want to add is totally going to be up to you and what you want for this design. So like maybe what might be nice for that one is we have that split there. So maybe, all right, hey, why not? Let's add a little bit more on that one. That way it gives a little bit of variety. You could just keep going. Click, click, click. All right, so if we wanted to, I think actually for my shading, I'm going to make one more layer, leaf shading. And again, the details and the shading are optional. So I'm going to add some here. That's a little bit darker. All right, eyedropper, match that color. P for pen tool. Actually, I'm going to deselect, go back to it. And looks like we have, oops. Again, I like to draw with none. I'm just going to do some undos. I didn't like that starting line. There we go. That's a little bit better. So it looks like we have a little bit of a tone shift in this area. Goes up to here. Our line will probably fill that in, so you could maybe go over just a little bit so it's closed in. All right, find that mid-range. And it needs to bring the other one up, so that Shift Command right bracket so that we can see that. And I'm going to go to the pen tool again and just get a little bit of detail up here also. So this is, again, purely optional, but it will help you. I'm not going to worry about that because that's going to be hidden. This will just help you get used to working with more complex shapes. I'm going to select both of these two. It lets me, there we go, and bring them to the front so that, and I'm just going to lock it for giggles, and we're going to turn them all on. And we can see one problem is we need to slide our shade under the details so that we can see the actual line. So you can rearrange these however you want. So this one was on top, so we can see we can't see the lines there. So just click, hold, and drag it under where you want to go. And this is why layers are so useful within these programs. It really puts the power of design in your hand. So you could keep building, building, building. I mean, I would have probably kept going with that part. The minimum is the pear, the stem, and the leaf for this project. Whenever you're complete, save it. That was Command S, or File, Save, and it'll gray out when you've already done it. And this one, when it's done, you guessed it, same as the last one, save as a PDF. We want the PDF. Save, save. Let it work its magic. Go back into Safari. Go into Course Materials, Unit 1 Introductions. This is our Pear. So you're going to go into Submit Unit 1 Pear, browse to attach your file, and that was on my thumb drive, the class homework, yay. And there it is, Pear. We'll go ahead and hit choose. And it does show up under here as attached files. And all you would do, go ahead and hit submit. So when you have that done, now you have starting out and Pear done, and we have only one more to go.